Hola, ladies and gentlemen, it's FRC and the race we've been waiting for since the 3rd of August 2021. It is the Brazilian Grand Prix and the grand finale of the FRC 2011 season. Four drivers fighting for the championship and two constructors also fighting for the crown of the best team this season. Well, your commentator today is Rose Pro, and hopefully today is going to be an exciting race, the same uh, as exciting as the positions in the championship. As the gap between Bagus and Smitler, the championship contenders, is just 2 points, with Smitler starting second and Bagus starting third. And also, uh, if you forgot, I remind you that you have a chance of voting for the driver you like, or for the driver who, in your opinion, is going to be the world champion. Um, you can do that by the link in the description, and now I'm also going to send you the link to vote for the driver you like. And we're going green in just 2 minutes. And now it's time to remember the starting grid for the final race of the season. As always, Brazil, no rain. And the front row is going to be Baked Oven and Max Smitler. Okay, here we go. Baked Oven and Max Smitler are located on the front row with two Red Bulls on third and fourth, Bagus and Gabriel. P5 Daniel, P6 Abovovich, the Kieslin and Fraser, Vucic Charmin and Rosetta Martinez are the best from the midfield teams in Q3. On P11 is Sammy Toscan with P12 for Santino Andreoli. Then Blackwood, Telsley, Hanebusa, and Victor Aitken. Behind them all, we have Colin Chapman, Lionel Messi, Emil Nielsen, and Adam Hidayat, and Williams' cars are the slowest again in qualifying session. Well, we have 53 laps of exciting, or not really, but racing at Interlagos. Here is the weather, and we're going green in just a couple of moments. And looks like we've got a vote for Aditya Bagus, the third vote, and 33% votes for Bagus and 66 for Max Smitler. And also, let's not forget about other drivers fighting for the championship like Kessin and Gabriel. Yes, they're about 20 points behind Bagus, but still they have a chance to win the championship. As I said, the hope dies last. Anyways, it is 6:30 GMT plus 3, and we're going green for the last time in 2011. Who's going to be the race winner today? Well, let's take a look. "22 cars on the starting grid, 4 title contenders, two teams fighting for the crown of the best constructor this season, and 5 lights as we're going green for the final time in 2011, and it starts with Owen starting first and Smithler second. It's a great chance for Smithler to take the lead as he goes around the inside on Beethoven, who closes the door, and we'll have a collision there between Darbus Daniel and Dabovich. A huge impact there for McLaren. But we continue the battle, that's really close as Beethoven is pulled away from Max Midler. As Kieslin is also trying to defend from Sametowska, and what a crazy start there with yellow flags in Sector 1 and the front wing broken for Vucic Armin. Do you have any other collisions? Looks like we don't. That was another driver out as it is Vucic Armin in the wall. And another collision there, and another one. Fernando Tost without a front wing, and also Alexander Arnold out of the race. What a chaotic start today. That's very interesting, as we have now only 18 cars fighting for, not for the win, but at least 4 points. Beethoven is the driver who usually had terrible starts. Yes, he has got 3 pole positions this season, but none of them had become the win. As now we have Smithler second and Bagus third. And I guess it's time to take a look at the replay of this start. Aboish starting 6th and Daniel 5th. We go green once again, and what's happened there? Was it the fault of the Russian? No, it was not. It was somebody at the back. And to be honest, it was Vucic Armin. Let's take a look at the replay once again. As the car of Aboish was usually flying with Lombard of Darbus Daniel, we can see that the car has also got a huge impact into the rear half of the Formula 1 car. What about others? What about others? What about Alexander Arnold? Was there a mistake by somebody? So there was a debris on the track, and it was from the car of Rosetta Martinez trying to overtake Vucic Armin, failing to do so, and as a result, the rear wing was flying and crossing the road. As a result, colliding with Fernando Tost, who lost the front wing, and then there was a collision between Alexander Arnold and one of HRTs. It was Colin Chapman, and as we see, Alexander Arnold is out of the race. Also, front wing damage for Martinez, as we have Chapman, Tost, and Martinez in the pits. Looks like Bagus is going for a move on Smithler in the next couple of laps, I think. So he's still chasing him for the winning the championship. Three drivers who made it into the pits a few moments ago are now back on the track, and as a result they've lost about 50 seconds. As here comes Bagus on Smithler. It's his first try today to overtake the Ferrari, as it looked like Max Smithler almost spun there. As Bagus is going for a move once again after the Senna SS. As we have a lot of drivers. We gained positions there as Bagus makes it up into second, overtaking Max Smithler. That was a nice maneuver by the Indonesian. From the inside on the Welshman. And as we also see a pressure on Max Mittler at the back, as it is another Red Bull, this time it is Yuri Gabriel. And it really looks like that Max Mittler had to win the start of the race, because if we take a look at the positions of the drivers on the starting grid, then we could see that Max Mittler would overtake Beethoven, and then he could make it around the inside into turn 1 with the McLaren driver between him and Bagus, who'd be running on third with Beethoven. As already said, having not the best starts this season, and he could just slow down the Indonesian, helping Max in pulling away from the Red Bulls. As the Red Bulls also have a huge chance of winning the Constructor Championship today for the first time in the history. The 2010 World Champions were Ferraris, but considering that Red Bulls are now running on P2 and P4, while Ferraris are on P3 and P8, and the gap between Red Bull and Ferrari in the championship is 14 points, it is almost impossible for the Italian team to win the championship. That's really close between Gabriel and the wall, but luckily the Brazilian, ahead of his home crowd, continues the race. Another opportunity for the Red Bull to take Max Mittler. Here comes Yuri Gabriel around the inside, and if he is going to make a move, it is going to be almost impossible for Max Mittler to win the championship now. Only a miracle can help him, like problems in the pits for Red Bulls, as we've seen in Singapore, when Ferraris literally started the best streak in the championship. They were leading a lot of points ahead of Red Bulls, and also Fraser makes it up to 7th. Let's take a look at the replay. What's happened there? Looks like it is also an overtake in the at the start of the middle sector. And yes, remember in Singapore once again, the gap between Mittler and Bagus was 35 points, as Bagus has the fastest lap right now. And if we take a look, and now the gap between Bagus and Mittler is about 9 points, and counting the point for the fastest lap, it is 10 points between the Indonesian and the Welshman. From 35 points of lead by Max Mittler, it now turns into 10 points gap between Bagus and Mittler in the championship. And also Ferrari was leading about 40 points ahead of ahead of Red Bull. And now it is a critical situation for the Italian team. Looks like all the drivers are going alone today, talking about Bagus and Gabriel, but Max Mittler is probably going for an overcut on them. I'm not sure if it is going to work, but at least he is going to try everything he can to overtake the Red Bull driver Aditya Bagus, first of all, and secondly to finish ahead of Yuri Gabriel by both Ferrari cars. as the constructors championship crown is also important for the Italian team, as they can win it for the second season in a row. It is already lap 7 of 53, as looks like the first pit stops are going to be around lap 25, which is a lot. And looks like everybody is going for a one pit stop strategy, unlike last time we had at Abu Dhabi. Everybody had 3 pit stop strategy, if I'm not mistaken. But also let's not forget that Brazil is a really short track, where the where one lap takes about 1 minute and 8 seconds, I think. No, sorry, 20 seconds, but it does not matter. It is almost the same as the lap around Monza. Oskan is defending from Fraser. Fraser is trying everything he can to fight back from some low positions at the start. As he was starting from P8 and now he's on P6, and we have a yellow flag with Santino Andreoli's car on smoke because of the oil leak and a fire at the back. Well, as we've seen on Thursday, it was a great qualifying for Renault, as it is their last race in Formula 1, but now it is getting worse lap by lap. First, the problems for Chapman, as he was making it into the pits. Now he's no, he was not making it into the pits. He retired already, and now it is going to be the second retirement for them in just 7 laps. Okay, 8 laps, but it does not make a lot of sense. Well, as the back of this Renault is on fire, it is a disaster for Renault in their final race. Just look at that fire. But Santina did not crash into the wall at least, so well done by the Frenchman. As last time he was the one who made the first overtake of the race at Abu Dhabi, and now probably he's one of a few drivers, or the first driver who did not crash into the wall when retiring the car. So now we also can see the top 6 being quite usual: Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes cars, and behind them there is Sammy Toscan, Erika Hanebus, Jake Owsley, and Jafari Blackwood. So we have 2 Zabers, a Toro Rosso, and FRC India, with an interesting photo on the front wing, but I still could not understand who is that. But I guess I'm just going to Google it. And also Lotuses are pretty close to the top 10, P12 and P13, as they have a battle with Williams in the championship. Probably the most underrated battle of the season is the battle between Lotus and Williams for P10. 25 points for Lotus and 24 for Williams, as Williams gained 4 points in Abu Dhabi, and now there's just 1 point between these 2 teams. But considering that Lotuses are running on P12 and P13, and one of the Williamses has retired and the other one is on P16, losing about 50 seconds to the leader. I'm pretty sure that Lotus is going to win the battle. Um, we do not have that many battles at the moment. And actually, is it going to be the first win for Beethoven, as he was always unlucky uh, in the races while being one of the fastest drivers in the qualifying sessions, as he's the one who scored 3 pole positions unlike other drivers. Um, he scored 3 pole positions at one at Monaco, one at Hockenheimring, and one at Interlagos in Brazil, the same as his teammate. But unlike the British driver, the Russian Abovich has scored 3 poles and 2 wins. First, he had 3 pole positions at Nürburgring, at Silverstone, and at Monza, and then it was a win for him at Italy, at Monza, and the second win this season for him was at India. About the most wins this season, there are 4 wins for Bagus and 4 wins for Gabriel. Bagus has won 4 races, and all of them are for were scored at Malaysia, at Turkey, at Singapore, and at Abu Dhabi. And about Gabriel, he won at China, he won at Hockenheim, he won at Korea, and he won in India, I guess, but well, maybe I made a mistake there. So I said that Abouch and Gabriel have the win. I have to check it once again. Maybe it was a pole position for him, but I just made a mistake. No, it was a win for him and a pole position for Abouch, so actually my bad. My bad. As now, Fraser is making a move up into P5, overtaking Berto Kieslin, also another title contender. Let's take a look, another overtake into this corner. She is well made. And that's interesting, as now we have Red Bull P2, P3 and Ferrari P4, P5. And looks like the best overtaking spot today is not the Senna S turn 1, turn 2, but it is the turn number 4. It is turn 4, turn 5, Decido del Lago. It's a water leak! It's a water leak for Beethoven! He's out of the race once again! It is not going to be his first win! It is not going to be his first win as he retires from the lead. The same way as Darbus Daniel made it a couple of times. That's it, that's the race over, as now Aditya Bagus takes the lead in the race. And also he extends his championship lead because of that mechanical failure by the McLaren car. Probably the most unlucky drivers, not probably, but of course, the most unlucky drivers this season are Beethoven and Darbus Daniel. We could also say that it was Adam Hidayat, but considering his first half of the season, but in the second half it was mostly his fault in the retirements or in poor performance. So now we can see if Beethoven is going to crash into the wall or not, and actually he is. He crashes into the wall, and it is another yellow flag in the middle sector. So now the gap between Gabriel and Smitler is about 5 seconds. It is 5.4, yes, because of that chaos made by Beethoven. He was trying to leave the Ferrari behind him. Max has lost 1 second to Euro Gabriel, and that's probably not the way you should end your career. As last time at the Brazil, the one who won the race was the McLaren driver. It was Senhor Kaka. No sir, it was Kaka Boy, I'm mistaken once again. And we have the first pit stop, say in about 9-10 laps, as Max Mittler is going for an overcut, and Jake Telsley crashes into the wall, and that's another water leak for one of the drivers. And here comes the mess in this race. First it was Santino Andreoli, then it is Beethoven with the huge chance of winning the race, the first race in his career, and then it is Jake Telsley running really well, actually, in the points. And now it is going to be Lionel Messi up into P10. And also a little mistake here on the curb by Adam Hidayat, as he was correcting the line of his car going through the corner. And now have only 15 cars on the track. Red Bull 1, 2, Ferrari 3, 4, and yes, still the yellow flags there. Lap 17, and already 7 retirements, and most of them are because of the mechanical issues. If we take a look, we have Telsley out because of the water leak, Beethoven water leak, Santino Andreoli engine failure, and then we have Arnold, Armin, Daniel and Dabovic retiring because of the collisions. But Ulrich was thrown the most part, the biggest half of the drivers retired because of the crashes, but it is only for now. Let's see what's going to happen. We still have about 30 laps to go, about 35 laps. And what about advertisements? Of course, we should set advertisements all the time. Not really, but yeah, because we just need some more people in our community who could help us, because we would like to make this championship something like a work of the community. Uh, well, we're looking for commentators as always for the second season in a row. So if you would like to commentate the races with us, you can join our Discord server. The link is in the description. And if you are already there, you can join our race streams voice chat to commentate with us. And also we were thinking about creating something like a Wikipedia for this championship, so if you know how to edit all this stuff, you can also send a personal message to one of our admins, me or Pia or Pyet. We're going to be ready to hire you. Well, look at Dan Fraser and his pace. He looks fantastic today, as he's making it from P8 to P4, and I guess that if he's going to overtake Max Mittler now, it is going to be his career at Ferrari over. And Tifosi are not going to be happy about that. And he was trying to overtake Max Mittler, but not yet, not yet. Probably it's going to be into turn 4. And no, still no pit stops incoming. And no, Daniel stays behind his teammate. And there's a battle between the teammates, and it is more like a battle for nothing. And probably Daniel Fraser is going to be the one who's going to decide the champion. Is it going to be Bagus, who has some traffic ahead of him, some cars who are going to be lapped really soon, or it is going to be Max Mittler, who is still defended from his teammate? It looks like Daniel has some big balls to make such a move on his teammate. At least he tries to do so. And not just once, but here he comes, here he comes! Battle for the podium as Dane Fraser makes it up into third. And probably he puts an end to the battle for the championship. And I guess that after this move, Daniel Fraser is going to be fired from the team. Or maybe it was a Ferrari master plan to let a faster car pass, to let the faster car through, to get closer to Gabriel, as the gap between the Brazilian and the British driver is about 9 seconds already. Just look at the pace of Max Mittler. He cannot even stay behind the teammate. Yes, he uses DRS, but he's still slower than Daniel Fraser. While Berto Kieslin is getting closer to the Ferraris. Looks like we have the first pit stops. And the first pit stop is going to be for Sauber, for Eric Albani Hayabusa, running on P7. And now we also have Hidayat in the top 10, as he also makes it into the pits with Emil Nielsen on lap number 22. Victor Aitken is already in the pits, 7 seconds pit stop, he's on P12. And Bagus is on his way to get past the HRT and the Williams cars, as Colin Chapman can see the blue flag wait for him. And probably these drivers are going to revive the battle for the championship. Probably Bagus can lose a bit of time behind them, because basically you can overtake nowhere but in turn 4. So now we also have Hidayat in the pits, Hayabusa in the pits, and Nielsen in the pits. 6.4, but Erika Hayabusa is stuck behind the Lotus and the HRT. And let's take a look at it. Adam Hidayat has 7.4 seconds and 6.2 seconds by Emil Nielsen. So it was a double kill by Adam Hidayat in this situation. Bagus gets past Chapman, but the next one on his way is going to be Fernando Tost. And the next driver who's going to pit looks like it is going to be Aditya Bagus, our race leader, is going into the pits. The same way as Daniel Fraser. Which is going to be interesting, as looks like the next driver to enter the pit lane is going to be Lionel Messi. No, it is going to be... Who is it going to be? I still don't know, but we have Bagus making it into the pits. He cannot waste any more time behind the Williams, a much slower car, and he's going into the pits. And he's going for a move, quite aggressively. And he has done it. He has no nobody ahead of him. And also, probably he decided to overtake from Colin Chapman on Fernando Tost. Let's take a look at the replay. What's happened there? Fernando was trying to get some slipstream behind the Red Bull maybe, but as a result he lost a bit of time, and Colin Chapman managed to get even closer to the Williams and to overtake it. Well, Bagus in the pits and Fraser is also in the pits. Looks like this interesting strategy by Ferrari did not work, as probably they were trying to slow down the Indonesian, but as a result, Bagus has got a 6.9 seconds pit stop, while Daniel Fraser only has got 8.2. A very slow pit stop by Ferrari. I know it's about the stress in this race, where the championship is decided, but you must not make such mistakes in such critical moments. Gabriel's in the pits, the second pit stop for the Red Bull drivers. Smiller first, Kies in second, and Oskan makes it up to the third, but he is going to pit on lap number 26. Gabriel 6.2 also not bad. And he is... looks like Bagus is fighting Jafari Blackwood in the battle for 4th. And that's a problem. That's a problem for the Red Bull driver, as Blackwood was going for an overcut. And look how close is Yuri going to be to Aditya Bagus. It is going to be about 1 second between them, as also Lionel Messi is getting closer to them. Yes, he has to pit, but well, at least it looks interesting. Gabriel, Messi and Bagus fighting for P5. Any drivers in the pits? Looks like no. Max Miller is leading the race, but what if we're going to... Okay, Samitos can pits, and talking about the gap between Smitler and Bagus, it is... come on, show us already! It is 13 seconds, and Bagus is surely going to be ahead of the Ferrari. Meanwhile, Daniel Fraser sets the fastest lap of the race, with Sami Toscan having a 5.8 seconds pit stop. .4 for Messi, and Martinez is also in the pits. Blackwood in the pits, and it is going to be a battle between the Red Bulls. Martinez has a 5.5 seconds pit stop. And probably the same situation is going to happen like in the battle between Williams and Force India, if I'm not mistaken. Probably it's not Force India. Oh, that was really close for Yuri Gabriel, as he almost crashed into Jafar Blackwood. No, between Williams and HRT, of course, but yeah, this did not happen for the second time. I was hoping for Yuri Gabriel overtaking Aditya Bagus, but no, it did not happen. The Jamaican driver is in the pits with a 7.1 seconds pit stop, and looks like he's going to be outside the top 10, or not, but at least we can see a Lotus in top 10. No, he even rejoins the track ahead of Lionel Messi, so he has nothing to worry about. Meanwhile, Max Midler crosses the finish line to start the lap number 29 of 53, and he's still staying out. He's still staying out, but what about the gap? What about the gap? It is about 12.5 seconds, as Bagus sets the fastest lap. Looks like it was not a smart strategy, it was just a waste of time by Ferrari. And well, I think that now they absolutely bottled it. The only chance that Max Miller can win the championship is Aditya Bagus having some mechanical failures. I'm not going to say anything about mechanical failures anymore because I don't want to jinx anybody in this battle. Chapman is in the pits. The HRT is having a pit stop. 5.6. Brilliant pit stop by the pit crew of the Spanish team. Where is Chapman going to be? He's going to be ahead of Fraser and behind Gabriel. And I think that Smither is going to be pitting next lap or in about 2 laps time. But still it is now about 10 seconds between Smither and Buggers. So the gap between the championship contenders is melting as the Welshman makes it into the pits for probably the decisive pit stop of the race. The same way as Bertie Kieslin. And I'm not sure that Bertie is going to slow down Max in the pits. But we'll have to see about that. As after these pit stops, Bacchus is going to be on first position, as he has just 13 liters of fuel. And that is interesting, as probably these drivers can go for just one piece of strategy. And that's an option, but we will have to see, Max Mittler, the gap between him and Bacchus is already 9 seconds. And the Ferrari driver makes it into the pits. The main question is it going to be a 2 or a 1 piece of strategy? All the eyes on the panel and he's going for a 1 pit stop. He's going for a 1 pit stop. He's going for a 1 pit stop. Yes, it was a slow pit stop, but still, he has 25 liters of fuel. He has 25 liters of fuel, while Bagus has only 12. I guess that was a 3000 IQ move by Ferrari. And if it is going to be a win for Daniel Fraser today, it is going to be a genius strategy by Ferrari. Fraser is now running in third. Yes, he is behind Bagus and Gabriel. But what is going to happen next? Sorry, Smither is fifth, of course. Fraser is on third. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. 20 laps to go in this race. And now it's all about the gap between Bagus and Smitler. Max has fresher tires than Bagus, and Bagus will have to pit. Yes, probably IDT is going to be chasing the Ferrari driver, but is it going to be enough to overtake him in the last 10 laps of the race? It is going to be something like a sprint race, a sprint for the World Championship. And somehow we also have Summit Oscar on P4. That's just a phenomenal race, I think, even without a lot of overtakes or just a lot of action, a lot of crashes. Just the way FRC races usually are. But don't forget that it's the final race of the season. It is the final race of the season. Toast is in the pits. .1 and Fernanda is going till the end. Meanwhile, Kieslin is going to be stuck behind Erika Hanebusa. And Fernando Tost is going to be ahead of Max Mittler. so it is some little help for Aditya Bagus in the championship fight. And from Red Bull 1-2, it is probably going to be a win for Max Miedler. But we'll have to see. 20 more laps of racing. And the gap between Bagus and Miedler is now 18 seconds. And looks like it is increasing, I think. And I have to take a look at it. It looks like Max is struggling to overtake the Williams of Fernando Tost, so we have to think about his pace, as he has lost another second to Aditya Bagus after the lap number 35. So that's the question. Is Max Miedler going to be ahead of Bagus after the pit stop of the Red Bull driver, or he's going to be behind? To win or not to win, that is the question for the Ferrari engineers, for the strategists, for the drivers, for Tifosi also. As even if it is not going to be the second Constructors' Championship won by Ferrari, but probably it is finally going to be a World Championship won by Max Miedler. But now he's struggling to overtake Williams. That was a fantastic strategy by Ferrari, but looks like Max is not in the mood today, as we saw his terrible, I would say, pace in the first half of the race. Yeah, that's a nice rap. Yeah, he was struggling in the first half. And he still cannot overtake Fernando Tost. Even if there are the blue flags, Max cannot do absolutely anything, and only now he overtakes the Williams, finally. Let's take a look at the replay, because we've missed it with this rear wing camera. A nice move from the inside, and that's it for the Welshman. Once again, taking a look at the results, 19 seconds between Miedler and Bagus, and after lap 37, how's it going to look like? And also another thing we have to know is Bagus won 4 races, while Miedler won just 3, and now Miedler just lost another second. But anyways, even if somebody is going to overtake, somebody is going to finish ahead of Bagus or ahead of Miedler, then, not counting the fastest lap point, For example, if Smittler is going to finish second and Bacchus is going to be finishing third, then they are going to have the same amount of points. And what about that? That means that Bacchus is still going to win the race with his 4 wins. So it is all or nothing for Max Smittler. And what about now? It is 20.3. 20.3. As we have the pit stops coming next lap. Gabriel makes it into the pits with Fraser taking Chapman around the outside, not bad. Also have Hanebusa in the pits, Blackwood in the pits, and looks like that's all. And now we're also going to take a look at the pit stop times. Here's the pit stop for Yuri Gabriel. And now we're going to see if Yuri Gabriel is going to be behind or ahead Max Smittler. It is not the fastest pit stop, but still 7.2 by the Red Bull pit crew, as Max Smittler makes it up to 4th ahead of Red Bull. And the pit stop time is also about 35 seconds. 36, 37, 38. Well, it's about 40 seconds, so that's a lot. So looks like Max has nothing to worry about, but he just must not make any mistakes. Bago speeds, with 13 laps to go. We also have Blackwood in the pits, but it does not matter. It does not matter. Lap 40 of 53. The pit stop for Max was not the decisive one, but it is going to be the decisive pit stop now. The pit stop for Aditya Bagus, for the race leader, for the championship leader, and for the driver who has not even completed a full season. It is going to be 7.8, 7.8, and here comes Max Smittler down the main straight, and he's going to get third, he's going to get third. He is going to get third. Bagos just turns left as Max Smittler is now ahead of both Red Bulls, and not counting the drivers on P1 and P2 who are going to pit. These drivers are Fraser and Doskan. Smittler is the race leader, and probably he's going to be the race winner. Let's take a look, let's take a look. 13 laps to go. Any other pit stops? As now we have Bagus P5 and Gabriel P6, that even Berta Kieslin is ahead of both Red Bulls. That is phenomenal. .3 for Messi, 7 seconds for Nielsen, and we have a pistol for Sami Toskan, who has one of the best races in his career, probably. And, well, he makes it into the pits. He makes it into the pits with 11 laps to go. And turns left, loses the podium place, and eight point eight. Well, now it is a Ferrari one too, but we know that Fraser has to pit, so it does matter only where Max Smittler is. Okay, Victor Aitken The second Toro Rosso is beating this lap, the same as Adam Hidayat, who is now on P7, and Martinez has a 5.7 seconds speed stop, not bad. And now let's take a look at the pit stop of Victor Aitken, as now Fraser is going to be pitting at the end of lap number 43. Bagus is trying to overtake Berta Kieslin. Bagus is trying to overtake Berta Kieslin for the second position. Well, it is actually for third, but not counting the race leader Daniel Fraser, as he has to pit. Bagus is now running on third. Side by side, Mercedes and Red Bull. Red Bull and Mercedes into turn 4, and that's a move done by Aditya Bagus. And looks like Victor Aitken is stuck in the pits because of another a big brain move by Adam Hidayat. Last time, the previous time it was just a double kill, but now it is only one driver. So I think it's a it is a combo for him, as he rejoins the track ahead of Emil Nielsen, who is running on P12. As now Daniel Fraser pits, and Max Midler makes it into the lead of the race with 10 laps to go. Bagus second, Kieslin third, and Gabriel fourth. But what about Fraser? Most likely Ferrari is not going to win the Constructors' Championship, as look how low Daniel Fraser is in today's race. It is only P5 for him. "42 seconds spent in the pit lane. Any more pit stops incoming? Looks like no. And it is only the battle of flying laps, I would say, between Max Midler and Aditya Bagus. The title contenders are running first and second in this race. And not only them, as we also have Yuri Gabriel and Berta Kirsten P3 and P4. Yes, they're also fighting for the third position in the championship. So it is also a battle for third in the championship, as there are just 5 points between them. Gabriel side by side with Kiesin. Round the inside he comes, she dive bombs the Mercedes, and he is now in the podium places, and he extends the lead in the championship, as it is Adam Hidayat in the wall. Adam Hidayat in the wall. What's happened there for the Lotus? As he was ahead of Emil Nielsen, but suddenly there was a water leak for him, and probably it was a suspension failure? No? Or it was a throttle? Actually, I cannot see. But certainly it is another retirement for the Lotus driver. Now only Messi is driving for Lotus in this race with 9 laps to go, 9 laps. Chapman is in the pits, the HRT, and Fraser says the fastest lap, surprisingly. 5.6, fantastic. Well, you know, even if I'm not watching NASCAR quite often, well, I'm watching it rarely, but it really reminds me of something like the final race in there, where there are just a couple of drivers fighting for the championship and others are just racing for fun. Uh, and now that's that kind of situation where all the title contenders are in the top 4. Max Smitter starts lap number 47. 2 seconds between Smitter and Bagos, 2 seconds! That's a fantastic pace by Bagos. That's fantastic. He's gaining on Max Smitter almost half a second every single lap. The championship is not over, as probably it is going to be decided in the final couple of laps, as we have just 7 laps to go. Well, now it is 1.4. The gap is melting and melting, with 7 laps to go. Well, actually 6, but... Well, every lap's count today. Every lap counts, as we have a yellow flag with Fernando Tost crashing right at the main straight, and that's another problem for Samet Oskan, who most likely is not going to get any points because of the pit stop. What's happened there for Fernando Tost, who decides to just stop the car on the main straight and to crash into the wall, and as a result, this wheel crossing the road collides with the front wing of Samet Oskan, and as a result, the Swedish driver is most likely going to lose these points, with Emil Nilsson making it into top 10. Look at that, look at that! Bakus is about to use DRS behind Max Smittler in these final 5 laps. Five laps to go, the final 5 laps of the season, and already just 1 second between Bakus and Smittler. Is getting closer and closer, already less than 1 second. 980 thousandths of a second. Old tires for Max Smittler and new tires for Aditya Bagus. Well, even if it was a fantastic strategy by Ferrari today, but Max Smittler has to finish the race by himself. Messi up into P9, Nielsen up into P10. But we have just 4 laps. Bagus chasing down the main straight, Max Smittler, and already opening the rear wing, activating the DRS and getting even closer. Now it is, let's take a look, 0.7 of a second with 4 laps to go. And as we see, absolutely everybody in top 10 has gained at least 1 position from the first lap of the race. And probably it is going to be a move done into turn 1 or turn 4 of lap number 51. That's impressive how Bios gained 10 seconds or 15 seconds on Max Mitter in just about 10 laps. That's impressive. That's impressive. As Aditya Bagus opens the DRS once again, and now he's in half of a second behind Max Smittler. Just half of a second. They come down the straight. Once again, it's not the main straight, but it is even easier to overtake in there with 3 laps to go. And Max Smitter is now struggling like he was in the first half of the race. And now into turn 12. Hunkao, turn 13. Turn 14. He's getting closer and closer, closer, trying to make him off on the own side, right at the main straight. He cannot do that, but now they're side by side for lap number 52, but not yet, or yet. No. But they are still side by side, round the east side. Aditya Bagus, what a fantastic move! What a fantastic move with 2 laps to go to the end of the season. And it is the move done by Aditya. And now he's the championship leader once again. The championship was almost won for Max Smittler, but it is decided in the last 2 laps. That's amazing. That's amazing. 90% of job was done by the Ferrari strategists. Max Smitter just had to make it to the end. And of course to defend from Aditya Bagus, as the Indonesian had an awesome pace throughout the whole race. But no, Max Smitter, who was actually struggling through the whole race, is now down to second. And he can feel the pressure behind him once again, as it is Yuri Gabriel who can turn it into the Red Bull 1-2, as it is, I guess, 99% that Red Bull and Aditya Bagus are winning both championships in 2011. Just the final lap. Aditya just has to bring the car home, and he has to celebrate, probably for the whole night. It is already 1.2 seconds between Bagus and Smitter. Aditya is literally flying in his Red Bull ahead of Max Smitter. That was an awesome season, and probably the man of the whole season is Aditya Bagus. From 40 points behind Max Smitter to the win in the championship. Yes, he was leading the championship in after race 5 or 6, I guess, but it does not matter, as he comes down the final couple of corners. The Indonesian driver is going to win the 2011 Formula Racing Championship season. Congratulations to Aditya Bagus. That was a championship decided in lap number 52 of 53. And it is a well-deserved win for the Indonesian. Max Smitter yet to win the championship for the 2nd season in a row. Probably he's going to win it in 2012, but it is going to be even more difficult and probably even more competitive from the younger drivers. Gabriel finishes 3rd, and it is the Constructors' World Championship won by Red Bull. Congratulations to Bagus, congratulations to Gabriel, and please do not give up, Max Smitter. That's not over yet in the battle for at least one World Championship. That's it. That's the season over. Thank you everybody for watching. That was a pleasure for me to commentate that brilliant season. Kessin finishes 4th with Okay, I'm going to turn off the in-game volume not to get copyrighted once again. That was fantastic. 1 hour, 1 minute and 34 seconds for Aditya Vargas to win this race, with Max Miller finishing second and Yuri Gabriel third. P4 Berta Kiesling, P5 Daniel Fraser. Outside the top 5 we have Erika Hanebusa scored a lot of points for Zauber. Then P7 Blackwood, P8 Aitken, and points for Lotus and points for HRT. Congratulations to both teams. And also 2 points for Messi, 1 point for Nielsen. Really close, just 2 seconds behind Nielsen is Rosetta Martinez on P11 and Sammy Toscan on P12, who could not score points today because of some interesting behavior by Fernando Tost, who retired due to the suspension failure. But between Oscan and Tost, there is Colin Chapman, who finished on P13. P16 Hidayat, because of the puncture, he retires his car with just less than 10 laps to go to the end of the race. P16 Tylersley, P17 Owen, P18 Andreoli, P19 Arnold, P20 Armin, P21 Daniel, and P22 Abovic. These are all the drivers who could not finish this race. About the driver's fastest laps, it is the fastest lap for Daniel Fraser with a lap time of 1 minute, 8 seconds, and 10 thousandths. And also let's take a look at Sammy Toscan, who also had a brilliant race today, and as a result he has got the 3rd fastest lap time of the day. Anyways, that's it, and now we only have to listen to the national anthems of Indonesia and Austria. Well, these were the anthems of Indonesia and Austria. The season is officially over. Thank you everybody for watching us. As the season started in August and it just ended in January. That was a long way to Brazil, and thank you everybody who was watching us, who didn't watch us, but at least who signed up, who subscribed our channel. Just for everybody, huge thank you the from FRC. Your commentators throughout the whole season were Ruspro and White. And see you next time in 2012 season for the preseason testing. Don't forget to sign up for Formula 1. The sign-ups are still open, and the sign-ups are going to be open for Formula Renault uh, really soon. The one who was watching the race with you was Rusbro, and goodbye.